During the past few years, the Commonwealth Bank has been exposed in one scandal after another. It's had to pay out millions in compensation to customers ruined by reckless financial advice. It was found dodging life insurance payments to terminally ill people. And now it's dealing with the fallout of a court case brought against it last week, alleging massive breaches of anti-money laundering regulations. The bank's apparent lack of oversight in this instance may have been exploited by drug dealers and terrorists. Today, against that backdrop, the CBA announced a yearly profit of nearly $10 billion. Shortly, I'll ask the Commonwealth Bank boss if his institution is destroying the decades of trust Australians have placed in it. But first, here's Julia Holman's report.
Thank you for joining us for this discussion of Commonwealth Bank's financial results for the 2017 financial year. The headline of the financial year for 2017 for the Commonwealth Bank was pretty positive.
It's an amazing result for CBA, and it's certainly been overshadowed by the events of the last week.
It's a shame that the pursuit of profit above all else has led them to these extremes, where if they'd just been a little bit more ethical, the profit would have only been slightly smaller.
Nearly $10 billion in profit should have meant a good news day for the Commonwealth Bank. But the 7.6% rise in profits isn't being celebrated by those at the top.
The Commonwealth Bank has been under a very high degree of scrutiny over the last few days. Scrutiny that has not reflected well on the bank and has not reflected well on me personally.
The CBA has stumbled from one controversy to another. The latest in this unfortunate series is a financial regulator, AUSTRAC, alleging that since mid-2012, the bank allowed major criminal activity to take place.
The types of problems that AUSTRAC and the AFP have allegedly identified are really money laundering 101.
The CBA is accused of failing to report more than 50,000 suspicious cash deposits, in part due to a software error in the intelligent deposit machines, or IDMs.
What AUSTRAC's alleging is that organised crime syndicates and professional money laundering facilitators had identified the weaknesses in Commonwealth Bank's IDM machines. And so what they were doing was they could go to these machines and sit at these tellers and pump notes into those machines until they were full.
I'm not at all surprised by these AUSTRAC revelations. I was basically just waiting for the next scandal to come along about CBA, because these are just symptoms of a deeper problem. There is a very sick, rotten culture at CBA where bad news does not travel upwards.
AUSTRAC alleges people were washing millions in dirty money through these unmanned deposit machines, and that even though bank tellers were reporting the suspicious behaviour to their superiors, the bank failed to act.
As you can imagine, when a bank teller comes out and sees someone sitting out the front on a milk crate pumping cash into an ATM out of a backpack, which is what the AFP surveillance footage picked up during the criminal investigations, when a bank manager or a branch teller sees that, obviously they find it highly suspicious. And they were appealing within the bank, sending emails, sending suspicious matter reports. The problem was those reports weren't being escalated sufficiently up the chain.
The Commonwealth Bank's insurance division is routinely cheating sick and dying people out of their payouts.
This isn't the first scandal that the bank has faced. Another CBA bombshell was revealed last year when its insurance division, ComInsure, was accused of refusing to pay out millions of dollars of legitimate claims to sick and dying customers.
Come on, come here. Come here, girl.
And back in 2008, former CBA financial planner Jeff Morris blew the whistle about the bank selling dodgy financial products, causing customers to lose millions.
In many ways, I don't know what's worse. Knocking over widows and orphans, taking advantage of really vulnerable elderly people, denying insurance claims to people in their hour of need, or systematically facilitating money laundering, which assists presumably terrorists, but certainly it would appear organised crime syndicates. So I guess you could say that none of them are particularly appealing, are they?
it's very important for me to be here fronting questions on this.
The AUSTRAC investigation is expected to take months, possibly years. It could cost the bank hundreds of millions of dollars and ensure its CEO remains under constant scrutiny.
CBA stands accused of helping terrorists. I mean, in the current environment, how do you recover your reputation?
Was your job ever raised in terms of your future career here at the Commonwealth Bank?
Does that show that under your watch that CBA is an arrogant institution?
Now, there's a lot of work that still needs to get done.
Ian Narev, who's headed the bank since 2011, says he's staying put.
This is going to take a while. We're getting onto it, and we will do it properly and thoroughly.
You've got to say, how many second chances, how many get out of jail free cards does anybody get? He's the CEO, so the focus is on him. But there's a whole management team there who I believe have been responsible for this really appalling culture.